Hi, this is Kirk McDow, business coach, Dragon Slayer, founder of the Challenge Call. I get asked from time to time what coaching is, or how does coaching work, or that kind of thing, or how is coaching different than training or consulting or something like that. So I want to talk a little bit about coaching. This is going to be fairly contextual, fairly high level, but I think you'll find it very powerful, especially if you're a coach interested in coaching, or interested in hiring a coach, etc., or if you're a manager, you lead people or manage people or whatever. So for me, coaching is something very specific. It is not advice. It's not tips. It's not about driving someone towards a specific outcome. You know, it's not training someone in procedures and processes. It is literally a commitment or stand to be a space, or to be a listening, or to have your attention on and have your intention on having someone else discover, create, distinguish, inquire for themselves their own pathways to whatever they're committed to. So a coach doesn't say this is your issue. A coach says, hey, there's a stop here. Let's take a look and see what it is, because it's important that the client, the person doing the work, doing the looking, the person with the issue, actually creates and discovers things for themselves. You know, it's one level of learning or knowing when you take on something that someone says and you go, experiment, try it out. But it's very different when you create for yourself a clear pathway through what you're dealing with. So all this is pretty contextual, but the key element here is a coach doesn't tell people what to do, doesn't tell people what they should do. A coach doesn't have a specific outcome in mind that we're driving towards. A coach doesn't is or very conservative with tips, advice, strategies, tactics, because none of us really know the outcome of actions and statements and commitments. We follow our highest self. We make choices, and whatever happens next, right? So the coach doesn't know the outcome of actions and that sort of thing either, right? But a coach is someone who is always standing for what's possible. A coach is standing for being connected with their client, like as another human being, and where there may have been one person dealing with something, now there's two. So there's a stand for what's possible, and that we are going to get there no matter what. There's a stand for victory, enlightenment, freedom, power, choice, happiness, fulfillment, peace of mind, full self-expression. And then there's a commitment to being connected, like really being connected with your client in a way that they're not alone anymore. There's two of you. And if you're a great coach, you're a one-man army. That's a lot more than two of you. And then there's what I call a space of love. Space of granting being and granting space for whatever they're dealing with. People are dealing with all kind of crazy stuff, and they get themselves into all kind of crazy situations. Well, it's not my job. It's not for the coach to judge or assess any of that. We got what we got. This is the hand of cards we're dealing with, and we move from here. And then there's the granting of being. When people are under stress, they're under adversity, rough circumstances, people act all kind of different ways. So a coach can give space to however anyone's being and whatever situation they got themselves into. So and then personally, I take on as a coach that everyone gets to invent their life from nothing. So that probably sounds a little weird, but mostly I would say, certainly in my experience, plans in life, what jobs and careers and relationship strategies and all that kind of stuff are usually a reaction to something that happened in the past. Oh, this didn't work well. If I married a blonde, I'm going to date brunettes. Or if I see somebody who has that type of personality, I'll never work with that person again. Or just all these things. You get your heart broken when you're a teenager and you make a decision about men, or a decision about women, or a decision about relationships, or a decision about yourself, and it becomes the truth. So if you really look at all that, what you may find in your life is you're playing a lot of games. You have the career that you have and the relationship that you have, and you operated inside of those aspects of your life in a way that is given to you by your past, as opposed to being created right? In an inspired state, a clear state, a powerful state, and you literally, you complete everything about your life, so there is no past and future, just for a moment in time, and you start to contemplate and create exactly how you want your life to go, or exactly how you want your business to go, or exactly the quality of relationship you want to have in your home, or in your marriage, or in your family, or with your friends, or with your business. So a coach is a stand for the another human being fulfilling, the possibility of their highest self, and they get to say what that is. So, one of the things I'm really interested in my clients is like, who are you by your declaration? Like, not where did you come from, and, what religion did you grow up in, and where did you go to school? Those things are of some interest, but what's really of interest is, who are you by your own declaration? Who do you say you are? And what is it that you say you're here for in the world? Like, what are you doing? Are you just moving from day to day, make sure you get the bills paid, or is there some journey or the fulfillment of some exciting possibility in your life? And I find that when people start to create who they are for themselves, who they are by their own declaration, and what their life is for, many of the questions people deal with get real simple. Not necessarily easy, but real simple. Like, it starts to be real obvious what does and does not fit in to a life when you start looking at it from, who am I and what is my life for, and what am I going to choose to have in my life or not. So with all these things, the devil is in the details. And another thing a coach is for is to help one sort out, what is it to live a life, of creation. What is it to say who you are and actually have that be real and expressed in the world, and have everything in your life lined up against those commitments. So for me, I'm the possibility of love and contribution. And so I'm a coach, and I have this thing called the challenge call that I give away, and various aspects, really pretty much every aspect of my life and my business is the fulfillment of love and contribution. And anything that's inconsistent with that, I go to work on. I go to work on and transforming it, altering it in some way, or completing it, like removing it gently and gracefully from my life. So anyway, that's those are some thoughts, I guess, as to what a coach is and what coaching is and what the whole thing is. I spend a lot of time training coaches, so I love having these conversations. If you'd like to engage with me, you have some comments or questions, would like to talk, give me a call. 512-663-2808. Thank you so much for your time.